Hi, and welcome to Engage and Shine, Takeover by Women in Leadership, Body, Mind, Soul, and Business. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather, and together we are working to connect women in leadership and business, empowering each other, improving the health and wellness of our community, body, soul, and mind, connecting to the heart and soul of who we are and what we do.
Thank you, Lisa Hannigan, for being so full of love and giving that you are at your book signing today. There is still some time today to go see her. So if you are where she's at, make sure you go see her. And
you can find all of her things and information, on her website.
Yes.
So her book signing, her book, links to her book. Oh my goodness.
Today Heather and I wanted to bring you guys a tidbit of ancient wisdom from the Toltecs, which are ancient, it's an ancient civilization of geniuses that were came together. It was pre-Mayan, I believe.
This is like Mensa level
genius.
And they had a secret society because it wasn't like
they weren't
normal to be this smart, right? So it's pretty cool. So now, generations down, the family has written some books to share with us. And so we've been talking a lot about it and about how it helps us to show up online and to show up better. So let's jump in. What are the 4 agreements?
So the 4 agreements are be impeccable with your word. Don't make assumptions. Don't take it personally, and always do your best. And we're going to talk a little bit about those and how those tools can not only help you live a better life for yourself, but help you show up better online and in front of the camera.
Yeah, it really helps your core confidence when you're working on these things. So do you want to go ahead and read the blurb?
Yes.
On the first one, and we'll just dive right in.
The first of the 4 agreements is be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. So that's number 1. Be impeccable with your word.
I love that it also means to yourself.
To yourself and to others. I mean, think about how it affects our confidence if we are not honest with ourselves. Okay. And if it affects your confidence, it affects how you present yourself.
Right. Are you choosing how you want to show up in the world? Do you have control over that? Or are you reacting to the people around you?
Right.
And I like it when we talk about when you talk about, if someone's going to get disappointed in a situation, you don't want to disappoint yourself. So always being true to yourself and not ever disappointing yourself.
One of the things that I heard from somewhere, I always filled with this wisdom, and one of the things that I picked up was it's okay to disappoint others.
Yes.
It's never okay to disappoint yourself.
Thank you. That's exactly where I was trying to go.
So the first, be impeccable with your word. If you are impeccable with your word, people admire that also. They look up to that. You're being authentic and truthful and honest, and people are drawn to that. It's like magnetism, right?
Right.
Okay, ready for number 2?
Bum, 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 bum.
Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Right? We take things personally. We tend to take things personally, but training yourself not to do that is hard, but very, very effective. It's like, why, and if you feel like you took something personally, you could ask yourself, why? Why did I take that personally? What do I need to work on within myself so that doesn't happen? But then you also have to remember that it's their reaction to you is not about you. It's about what's going on with them.
let's talk about that for a second.
Mhm.
So when we're online and we're showing up in a real way and we're nervous and we're thinking about our things going on and someone writes a comment, are you telling me that they're in their own head?
Yeah.
So they're really responding to how me showing up makes them feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it really has nothing to
It
do
has
with me at
nothing to
all.
do with you at all.
So it's much better when we're showing up and we are giving our message out to the world, because that's what we're here to do, right?
Mhm.
We are all here to share our voice. We have amazing things to share with each other. We're all here for a reason. And when we let someone else stop us
Mhm.
from sharing our story,
Or feeling like we're not enough,
right?
when you are already enough just as you are. You're perfect the way you were made. Perfect,
Yes.
right? Okay. So don't take things personally. Take those negative comments, that negative stuff that is, trying to get at you, and basically hold up your umbrella, right? Protect yourself from that by not taking
I
it
like
personally.
that.
Yeah. You like that,
I use a mirror, like, and I'm on the other side of the mirror. Like there's that to like when someone's like in an interrogation, right? And there's that two-way mirror.
Mhm.
I'm on the other side, right?
Mhm.
They're actually looking at themselves.
Right.
And I feel like that's a really good visualization, is like they're looking into the mirror and they can only see their feelings about a situation.
Mhm.
They can only see their experience. They're not able to see what you're giving here.
Or what your life experience is, or what have led you to make the choices that you've made.
Right.
We all have our own story. We all have our own dream. It's whether we put ourselves in hell by taking things personally, taking offense to things, or we create our own heaven by creating our own dream, right? And we are able to do that as humans on this earth right now. Okay, number 4. Are you ready?
I think we're on
Or 3. Sorry.
3.
My bad. 3. Don't make assumptions. This is another way we torture ourselves.
Right.
Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. And that is so true.
So just like, someone's on that other side of the mirror, right? And you're over here, they can't know what's going on in your brain unless you go in the other room and actually tell them.
Right. Or let's say you see someone walking down the street and their clothes are dirty. Maybe they're a little hunched over. Maybe they're, the jacket's a little raggedy, or whatever the case may be. What kind of assumption are you going to make about that person?
Are you going to think they're homeless?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to think they just came off the construction job? Like, you don't.
What does that look like? And I can tell you from experience that my husband, who works construction, has actually been followed at the grocery store, because he works swing shifts, so he goes to the grocery store in the middle of the night on his way home, and he has been mistaken for a homeless man several times at the grocery store. He's just
Is this why we
work.
put
It's
on
fine.
our good clothes when we go to the store?
Right. Okay. So don't make assumptions. And this helps you show up better online, in front of the camera and things like that, because you are able to be more compassionate for people when you're not making assumptions. Because
Right.
when you're making assumptions, you're placing judgment.
Right. And you never know who needs to hear what you have to say that day.
Mm-hmm. And if you place judgment on others and you're making assumptions, then you're also not being impeccable with your word.
The other part of that for me is the assumptions that I'm not already enough.
Mhm.
The assumption that I'm not worthy of showing up, because then you're also depriving the person that needs to hear your message
Mhm.
from hearing your message. So no matter what you have going on,
Mhm.
you're already there, and
Mhm.
somebody already needs to hear what you have to say.
Mhm.
They're out there ready to listen.
Yes.
And so if you prejudge that,
You're missing the boat.
yeah,
You're
it
missing the
sailed without you
boat.
and then caught on fire.
Poof, right? Okay. Are we ready for number 4? Okay.
Okay.
Always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. Now think about those feelings for just a minute. What do those feel like in your body? That self-judgment, that self-abuse, and regret. Those feelings of not enoughness,
Right.
that we feel.
It's in there because it's all yuck,
Right.
and muck,
And
e.
mm-hmm. And if you're always doing your best,
or is it a feeling in your body?
yeah. And if you're always doing your best, you're always going to show up in the best light. Even if, let's say, you're having a bad hair day, right? These things happen, right? We have bad hair days, and you take a photo or a video and you decide that you don't want to post it because you don't like the way your hair looks that day.
Sticking up here, and you're like,
right? Okay. I am going to encourage you to post those things anyway, because somebody else is going to relate more to you because of those
real life moments.
Those real life moments, those authentic moments, than if you were picture perfect all the time.
Right.
Okay. And it's okay to not be picture perfect all the time, because one of the things you have to remember with always doing your best is not to overwork yourself either, because then you're causing yourself suffering again.
Right. So overdoing is just as bad. So knowing your boundaries, knowing that you have to do your self-care, knowing that you have to take your time. Like for us, it's the meditation and the yoga. If we don't take the time to do those things for ourselves,
we get a little grumpy.
We get grumpy, life's lifing, we don't have a good attitude about when technology's being rude, all the things are happening. Life is lifing, but we choose how we show up.
Mm-hmm. We choose every day when we wake up in the morning how we want to show up for the day. If we tell ourselves we're tired, we're going to be tired. If we say we didn't sleep well last night, well, guess what? You didn't. But if we say, oh, I got a really great 4 hours of sleep, I feel refreshed, I feel ready for my day. If you tell yourself these affirmations,
sometimes I just acknowledge, okay, Bonnie, I get that you're tired. I see you're doing a lot. Thank you so much. But we got this. We have the energy. We're excited. And then you got you wake it up, right? Drink some water, get some movement. We love movement. Moving energy is, the dog is being super helpful. Moving energy is a big part of our day.
Yes. Yeah, we have to. We actually set a timer on our smart speaker that I'm not going to mention. Yeah, we set timers. We're going to work for an hour and a half, block a time, like in the computer in it, and then we're going to take a 15-20 minute stretch and movement break, get out of our seats, move our bodies, go
outside,
all that stuff, and then we're going to get back to it for another hour and a half or whatever that looks like that day.
And when technology hits that moment where the printer won't print, the computer wants to reboot, all these things happen. Oh, my favorite, when you go live and nothing is where it was last time you went live, right? Because they move it all the time, and it feels really lonely and like it's only happening to you in that
It's not.
moment, and you're in your head. It's really not.
It's really not.
Like these things move around all the time. Technology, internet, like all of these things have to come together to make it go smooth. And our attitude and how we show up and how much we're in our head about it determines how we're able to show up for people.
Right. But always do your best.
Yes. And when you expect that everyone else is doing their best, you have better reactions, right?
You do. Yeah. If you expect that everybody's doing their best, and again, your best is different every day,
Right.
It'll be different when you're tired versus awake, when you're sick versus well,
If
all
you
these things.
come in at life assuming that people are taking care of themselves, right? Holding space that if you're not, even if you are taking care of yourself and you're having a hard day, like you're still showing up in your best. So how you interact with them,
it's going to look completely different.
right?
And that's what's so great about these 4 agreements is if you implement these things into your life, you agree with yourself to make these things because, and we'll talk about what agreements are and exactly in just a minute. You will show up better for your family, for your friends, for yourself.
I think that's the biggest one.
Right.
When you're
Absolutely.
showing up better for yourself, it just ripples out into your whole world. So if you are the center of your world, right? And if you are balanced and you are doing these things, then the people around you start doing them, and then the people around them start doing them, and it grows, right? So as you learn to go, wow, the first part of it is that wow, oh
that
wow,
awareness.
oh wow, that just happened, now what? Right? That awareness is like the first step to anything you want to change in your life, is just bringing awareness to that piece in your life, because where you're focused at is where your life goes.
Exactly.
If I focus on I have no money,
then you're not going to have any money.
You're not going to have any money. If you're focused on there's not enough, there won't be enough. But if you're focused on the abundance, if you're focused on there is enough, if you focus on showing up in I am already enough.
Because everything is energy.
Right.
And you're drawing in that energy, whether that's, and you're asking for the energy, whether it's good energy or bad energy, whether it's money energy in a positive way or money energy in a negative way. Is it, imagine that money coming in. Imagine all the things of your business just falling into place. Manifest these things for yourself that you want in your life, whatever that may be. Because if you follow these things and you believe that you will achieve your goals, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
Gonna happen.
Especially, and it doesn't mean it's going to happen like today. We have a couple of ladies in our group that have the one I'm thinking of is our author Harriet Arden Bird. She went on like this lifelong journey to getting her book done, and it took her 16 years, 15,
40 years.
40. Oh gosh. I had the numbers
a really long time.
A really long time. So 40 years she finally wrote her book, published. It's in the local libraries. Now she can talk about, it's really exciting, and she's working on a new book, and it's going not going to take her 40 years, right? Like now she's in the process, but she wanted a really authentic story, and there was life happens, right? But she kept plugging away on her goals, even though lives.
And her voice being heard in the way that was meaningful to her and will continue to be meaningful for other people.
Absolutely.
Because they can relate, right? So somebody out there can, probably many somebodies out there can relate to you in your real life, authentic selves, just being as beautiful and amazing as you are. And by following these little rules, it'll just change
So
your
what
life.
is an agreement? Let's talk
So
about that a little bit, because we did dive right into these are the 4 agreements, but let's talk about what that means.
okay, so real quick, an agreement is something that you believe to be true. Okay. If
It's like you, without knowing it,
uh-huh,
it's something that we believe about ourselves,
uh-huh.
or we hold like these are the rules about it.
Right.
Like it's
Like,
an unspoken.
like everybody agrees that this is a jacket,
Yes.
right? They might call it a different type of jacket or whatever, right? And it's
I'm
black.
sorry, it's a blazer.
Blazer, right?
Right.
So it's black. Everybody can recognize this color as black. That
because
is
we agree commonly that this
uh-huh.
is the color, that this is, that's how we label it, right?
Okay,
Like
so
these are agreements that we have.
so think of them as societal norms. You know, these agreements in order to work within society and communicate with one another by using the word to say what we want or mean or whatever. And we agreed that this color is black. Well, maybe to somebody else, this color is blue.
Are they wrong?
Are they wrong?
I mean, that's how they see it.
Right. So that's basically what an agreement is in something that we believe to be true. Now, some of the agreements that we've made are not healthy for us. If
Right.
you, any of those self-sabotaging beliefs, there's another word I want to find.
Limiting beliefs.
Those self-limiting beliefs, any of those things that you have about yourself, is because you've made that agreement with yourself. And so using these 4 agreements.
This is how you take your power and control back, right?
Right.
Like you don't blame the person that said the thing that made you feel this way. You take your control and power back by not accepting that agreement no longer.
Right. And it's a habit to break.
Yeah.
Okay. And we all know breaking habits, it takes time and it takes practice. And it takes a lot of awareness to be able to see these things that we work on every day on a personal level, on the self-growth level. But the way these things will impact your life and your business is amazing. So
it is, because if you are seeing other people as showing up doing their best when someone has to cancel on you, when you know they got a flat tire, you know, they had things happening, it wasn't personal, right? You didn't take it personal, so it doesn't stop you from doing the next right thing for yourself in your day, right?
Correct.
So then you're not spending this time in this drama cycle.
Ooh.
Right. You've stopped the drama wagon. These things aren't happening to us,
they're happening for us,
right? So life is happening for us, right? So we're asking, so the more that we are impeccable with our words and we're asking for what we really, really want,
and getting clarity
and getting more clear and understanding how we're reacting to the world is making our world starts to get better. More things, good things are starting to happen.
You're getting it.
Guess what happens? We're happy.
Yeah, it's joy.
Yeah,
that's what joy feels like, right?
I'm like, wow, this is a surprise. And then that like self-trust is easier, the self-love becomes easier. Like I'm excited because I've recently been able to say that I trust myself. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I didn't think that I would be able to say that. And
it just came out.
I was like, oh, we're talking about stuff, and every other time it was like, okay, we have to stop and really like, okay, I trust myself. I'm going to make that real. And I've made it real. I didn't know that was a thing. Like, that's so cool.
A quick recap before we close out today. The 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. don't make assumptions, and always do your best. And to find out more about the 4 agreements, check out Don Miguel Ruiz's book, The 4 Agreements. It tells you all about this wonderful Toltec wisdom. You can find it on our website at www.womeninleadershipbsmb.com. Something we also like to do here on our show is give back. And our cause of the quarter this quarter is the Boogie Bin, which is a nonprofit organization that collects gently used pet goods and things like that, and then sorts them and disperses them to shelters and
animal rescue.
And
make sure everything donated gets to a rescue that can actually use it. So if you don't have one of those in your local area, we encourage you to check out your local pet rescues, pounds, animal shelters. That's the word I was looking for.
Check out your local animal shelters.
And the reason why we do that is because as we move away from big corporations, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, it's important for us to make sure that we're getting our word out about where we want to see our communities grow and be better. So it's our responsibility to make sure we're always giving back. It's a part of who we are and what we do in our communities is giving back. So we want to encourage others to do the same. We've had some great causes of the quarter so far for our podcast, and we've connected with several other nonprofits and really helped network some people together in that avenue as well. So, everywhere you look, there's been some really amazing organizations for women, helping women to become better leaders. We have some friends in Alabama that have a whole women's coalition that's working really hard to help women become the influencers on boards, so that we start to move our nonprofit boards and then move into the more paid boards, so that we can really start making a bigger impact on the corporations as women.
Yeah, because that's really important to our communities. So again, we want to say thank you to Lisa Hannigan for trusting us today and inviting us to guest host today's Engage and Shine. We are the Women in Leadership Body, Soul, Mind, and Business podcast. We love you all. Thank you for joining us. Namaste.
Namaste.